Ready to hit the button. It's this button, not this button. Okay, yeah, we're 30 seconds in, and you know, they just changed the YouTube policy. As long as we don't say fuck in the first, 7 seconds, or use it over and over again, we should be good.
Well, all right then.
Who do we got? Who do we got?
Nobody right now.
That's not what I wanted. That's the one.
Yes.
Stryker. I want to see Stryker out on a street corner with a picket sign. Hell no, we won't go. What are you protesting? Generally?
Right. Right. And the chat wasn't refreshed, so it looked like there was nobody in the chat. There was Stryker obviously took it. Nobody. Yes.
Wow, and the chat is pure YouTube this morning. Was it yes? No, it was excuse me. Tuesday morning, as soon as I went off the air, I got a notification that we had been removed from Facebook, which usually if we get a strike at all, we get it from the YouTubes. But filed an appeal, sent a message to the boys saying, hey, we got thrown off of Facebook, and well, I've already filed an appeal. And as I hit send on that message, I got a notification back from Facebook. We've approved your appeal. You've been restored. BTFO, bitches. So how you doing?
I'm good. We should say hey to some people, then we should jump in on this. We're gonna avoid talking about school shootings and trannies today. I realize, and as we were talking about show prep, I kind of jokingly said to Chris, be like, hey, you heard about a bank collapsing in the last few fucking days? And he's like, nope.
Nope. Nobody's talking about bank failures. Nobody's talking about the change in crypto exchange rates. Nobody's talking about anything except the distraction. You know, it's super handy. Super handy that an agent of the amorphous war has just grabbed everybody's attention.
Well, you know, and I almost pushed you to say we should talk about that Restrict Act because it's the people that are
because it's one of the most ham-fisted acronyms ever. But hey,
yes. Well, and there's so much there too. It's like the Patriot Act. I mean, yeah, technically it'll let us spy on you, but we never
Technically.
we never use it for that. It's not like we could use. It's not like it would allow the FBI to be weaponized and say, "Well, we just need to violate like the Fourth and Fifth Amendment because of national security." Like that's, And then the same thing with the Restrict Act, but no. This one, guys, and this one was my idea because I heard this and yeah, it's a thing that I have thoughts and feelings about, and so here we go. I think we should say hey to people, and then we just jump right into it. What do you think?
Yeah, so Uncle Steve's got first blood this morning. I see Stryker and Crackshot in there. Stryker's complaining that we couldn't see him earlier. That's adorable. GCM, FTP, FUQ, good morning, sunshine, and the Fit Life with Danielle. Danny, I'm due for a hug. So whenever you're down here, we need to get together again. And I see Rhodey's with us. Good morning, brother. Pit Danny, hells yes. Rob Hova. Well, Rob, you got to get the first blood. You just got to do it. Whoa. What are you doing? Crackshot says the CBDC is close. One bank will be left, the Fed. Yeah, I would abolish the Fed without a moment of hesitation.
Oh, don't.
But we're not going to get down that route today. Today, we're going to talk about this because
you cut off one Hydra head and two more will...
The monster from Jekyll Island, indeed.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Elon Musk and others call for pause on AI, citing risks to society.
Actually, go through it.
This is interesting. More than 1,000 tech leaders, researchers, and others signed an open letter urging a moratorium on the development of the most powerful artificial intelligence systems.
Others. It's just one of those things that always bothers me. See, there was a Freudian slip. Yeah. What do you mean, others? What, like entrepreneurs, philanthropists, just
scientists,
just random hobo outside your
right?
Like
now,
others.
In this case, others include Steve Wozniak. And if that name doesn't ring any bells, he's the beard that built Apple.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the Apple guy that didn't make as much money, didn't have a movie made about him, and didn't die of cancer. So,
yeah.
It's... Yeah, anyhow.
So, Elon Musk, chief executive of Twitter and Tesla, and other tech leaders have criticized an out-of-control race to develop more advanced artificial intelligence. Yeah, we're going to be having a conversation about arms races and the like in a minute. Steve says Microsoft buying into ChatGPT is frightening. The whole artificial intelligence thing is frightening. More than 1,000 technology leaders and researchers, including Elon Musk, have urged artificial intelligence labs to pause development of the most advanced systems, warning in an open letter that AI tools present profound risks to society and humanity. Real quick, I see, who was it? Crackshot asks, is AI becoming self-aware? Soon it will see us as a threat. Skynet. Part of what we're about to get into in a minute here is it's not that the AI is about to become self-aware. It's not. And that's actually scarier. But Cameron, this is your baby. Let's
Okay, well, so while Chris is organizing things here, there's two pieces to this, and actually, believe it or not, the smaller one is the self-aware thing. Yes, I'm going to compare it to Star Trek because everything I ever needed to learn about life, I learned by watching reruns of Star Trek. Haha, I'm a meme and a dork. But when people think about AI and Skynet and all of that, they tend to think of Data, the android from Star Trek The Next Generation, as the model. It was like, oh, that's, this is artificial intelligence right here. There's literally entire plot lines of episodes dedicated to exploring Data's humanity, so to speak. However, they made a big deal in the show about Data had something called a positronic brain. Now, what that was a device to allow the character to exist in the show and be a bridge between, human and machine. But this is actually really important because it was the reason why Data was considered self-aware, sapient, sentient, a living being, so to speak. We're nowhere close to the positronic brain. We're just not. Okay. And that's not to say that we're not close to a computer that could make you believe that it was sentient. I have no doubt that within the next 10 years, maybe even a lot less, there will be a computer that is smart enough to make you believe that it's sentient, but it's not sentient. And I think it was Rob who said somewhere up there that it's the code that you put into it. And yes, 100% it's code. Okay, so there's that part of it. So sorry, hate to be a wet blanket, but I don't think we're getting actual artificial intelligence anytime soon. No Matrix, no Skynet, no Data. Pick your poison. Not going to happen. However, the other side of it, and this is something that we've even had arguments about inside of our group chat, is whether or not pausing AI is a good idea. And I'm generally of the opinion that if you know a thing exists and you understand how to research a thing, not researching the thing is an extremely Luddite mentality. I don't know if there's an actual scientific or philosophical concept for this, but I tend to think of it as the Oppenheimer problem. As in, the guys that worked on the Manhattan Project regretted it. Fuck the fact that they changed the world and that they ended World War II and that invading Japan by land would have cost about 1 million more lives than dropping the bombs did. No, they regret living in a world where they contributed to the possibility of nuclear hellfire.
I am become death, destroyer of worlds.
Yes. So, but here's the thing. We were not the only ones researching how to split the atom.
Correct.
That was a thing that was happening all over the entire world. And holy shit, what if the Ruskies had developed that technology first?
Right, it was happening all over the entire world, and you can absolutely bet that if the U.S. had not beaten everybody else to the punch and deployed that weapon against Japan, then we would absolutely have seen that weapon deployed against the U.S.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
That's not a speculation. That's a 100% guarantee.
Look, and here's the thing, okay? Specifically, one of the things that we've had a lot of arguments about inside our own internal group chat is, well, gain-of-function research is bad. We shouldn't be doing it. And even that, I disagree with, okay? I get that...
Well, no. Gain-of-function research is bad.
I know, but let me have the freedom in the language here, just a little bit.
But just you're not defending gain-of-function research. You're offering reasonable and relevant apologetics for our continued engagement in it.
Right. So, and it goes like this, okay? Even if we stop doing gain-of-function research, get fucked if you think China is.
Right.
Okay? It's like, it's just a fact. And every other weapon and technology, anything that can be thought of, conceived of, is the same thing. And if we abandon it, that's funny. Yeah, Sean Stryker, that's top comment right there.
Gain-of-function AI.
And if we abandon it, someone else will pick it up. And then there's even further down the line, yes, okay, to say that AI presents all these problems, because if you go through the entire New York Times article, the thing that they're the most worried about with AI is its ability to spread disinformation, which I think is a fair point, okay? But we don't know how to combat the problem unless we know the full scope of the problem. There's an interesting dichotomy that happens. You build a better lock, and then the bad guys get better lock picks. So you build a better lock, and then the bad guys get better lock picks. And it's a constant arms race in how to increase security and then navigate security. And it'll be the same thing. We don't even know what we're dealing with AI until we get to the maximum potential of AI.
Right.
And while I agree that it's scary, and that there might even, and I choke on these words, okay? There might even need to be federal regulations introduced about AI. We have no clue what they are until we have approached AI's full potential. And to try and do something now, I fundamentally disagree with it. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. You can't. Period. So pausing AI, basically, you know who's going to pause AI? The same people that would surrender their guns in a gun buyback program.
No.
The bad actors.
It's worse than that. It's worse than that. You know who's going to pause AI? The same people who, through private free market commerce and principles, have managed to become the least polluting advanced countries in the world and bear the entire financial burden of all of the psychotic climate alarmism garbage, while those who were always the biggest offenders, like India and China, especially China, will continue to produce more and more harmful material. Now, I got a couple of comments here that I want to address. And
yeah, I was ignoring all of them so that I could...
This is going to expand on what Cameron was saying about the kind of arms race nature about this. Uncle Steve says, yeah, but China isn't sending money over here to help us do the research, are they? And that's an incredibly important piece of this conversation. The U.S. government and people like Elon Musk, and guys, I'm a big fan of Elon. I think he's a rock solid dude on a lot of stuff, but he's not perfect. And the futurist position on this is an interesting one, but it leaves out the importance of the strategic and tactical posture of the United States and our interest in our own sovereign nation and national security. Now, what Uncle Steve says there, but China isn't sending money over here to help us do the research, and then Stryker points out China reverse engineers our stuff. When does communism create innovation? That's another excellent point. That's part of the same point. Communism generates nothing, right? Communism is like every other leftist and welfare recipient. They generate nothing. They only consume. If they appear to be generating anything, it's only more shit that they can sift through for tasty morsels. Now, when you look at this situation, just like with the COVID gain of function situation, we were not doing gain of function research in this country, at least publicly or theoretically.
Yeah,
and
we
all the
totally
while,
weren't.
Right, and all the while we were funding that activity in China. 100% guaranteed that if the government steps in to pause AI research in the United States, that same government will have Democrats that put pork barrel garbage into the next giant frickin' I almost said filibuster. The big ass bill, the omnibus. They'll cram that pork into the next defense omnibus or something like that to fund the Chinese doing that development. And then what the Chinese will do is they will hire American scientists to come over there and do the work so that China can take advantage of that work. This is not only because China is a communist country and incapable of developing legitimate intelligence, but incapable of developing legitimate innovation. It's because that kind of activity is in fact an intelligence operation for the Chinese government. The U.S. funds China to conduct research projects. China hires American scientists to come over and do the work, and what those American scientists bring with them includes the classified information related to any proprietary technology or strategic or tactical development that those scientists have been involved in any work that they've done in the U.S. Because you have to remember, in the universities where we are inundated with leftist, communist, tyrannical mind viruses, those are in fact the laboratories and research and development departments where the science is done. They're not the only places that science is done, but all of the other places where the science is done are involved in relationships with those same places. So you might have a professor who works at, such and such university who also contracts with XYZ DARPA program. And please believe, we call this spillage in the business, right? When you work for the company, we call this spillage. And that's when classified information makes its way into non-classified platforms and distributions. That's a very serious problem because it means that the U.S. as a government, as a nation, and as a citizenry body relinquishes its advancement, its claim to advancement, and its actual usable execution on these advancements, while simultaneously funding money away from American jobs to go and fund the technological advancement of the enemies of the United States of America, and dare I say freedom, because let me remind you this. The United States is not the last free country on earth. It is not the case that the world was free and tyranny has spread over it and we're just trying to hold it at bay from here. No. The history of mankind is awful struggle under the constant oppression of tyrannical overseers. A world in which the United States of America and the great experiment of liberty and freedom on this continent is the first foothold, the original beachhead of liberty around the world. No place on this planet today does anyone get to pretend to be free in any nation without that freedom tracing directly back to the American Revolution and the philosophical, ideological, and tactical repercussions of those men standing up and saying, hell no, I won't do what you tell me.
So Alex McDonald earlier in the thread said that he noticed that I used the language research and not development with regard to gain of function.
Well, yeah, he's a smart motherfucker.
Right. And he asked, I think, an appropriate question that goes really to the heart of what we're discussing here and why I have the position that I have, okay? He said, we can research deadly viruses, but should we develop them? And I am going to say yes. In fact, I am going to say that if we don't, right here in America, develop deadly viruses, we're not only committing what I would say is an intellectual error, but it's actually a pretty big weakness in our whole defensive strategy, okay? Because again, I go back to other countries will do it. other regimes will do it. And then and we're still doing the research. We're just doing this bizarre, like Rick and Morty joke of, oh, that's just slavery with extra steps, like thing where, no, we're totally not doing gain of function research. No, what we're doing is we're passing money through shell companies and then doing it all offshore so that we can claim on paper to not be doing it, but we're still doing it. But please notice that shit didn't happen here.
Right. Waller, incompetence in American leadership is China's greatest weapon. I gotta give you that one, brother. That's yeah.
So there's that. Like, there's actually operational security for not pushing this technology to the edge, and then, as if Alex knew what I was going to do to connect the 2 points together, he brought up TikTok, which, yeah, like if you want to know why AI is bad, like TikTok is ruining young women. It just is. Like, does that offend you? Well, screw you. Delete TikTok off your phone. It's obviously trash. Okay? Oh, but the videos are funny. Yeah, haha. Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Right? And that is all the more reason why we should be the leaders in research. If it's dangerous or scary or in any way productive with a side of wartime potential, I want the US of A to lead the field every time, every single time. Because, well, frankly, as Chris said, we're not the last best hope for freedom. We're the toehold. We're the beachhead. We're the beginning of freedom, not the end. So yeah, should we develop gain of function research right here in the good old US of A? Yep. And I think it's naive to think that we're not.
Right.
Frankly.
Well, I mean, we already know that Pfizer is doing that. They admitted it.
I know. But it's just to sell more. It's just to sell.
I want to close on this. We didn't even get to the whole thing about
the actual disinformation, amorphous
warfare, and the deep fakes thing. We may have to revisit this topic on a later episode.
Somebody said something about Instagram models. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to that part of it.
But I want to close on this. I agree with Cameron largely on his position on our research and gain of function, etc. And like I was telling him yesterday when we were having this conversation, the thing that bothers me is that he lays out a very cogent, intelligent, and rational argument for the development of dangerous, terrifying technology. It's the same problem we have with the guns. You cannot craft a reasonable and intelligent argument to control guns in the United States or anywhere else in the world. There is no intelligent argument because the genie can't put back in the bottle. Cannot be put back in the bottle. With respect to what Cameron's describing as far as the gain of function, then this is somewhat separate from the AI conversation. But I want you guys to understand and remember this the next time you find yourself in a voting booth and asking yourself which letter to check. The primary reason that I support Cameron's argument on the question of gain of function research and biological weaponry, knowing the significant danger of all of them, is because you've elected a raft of cowards who lack the testicular fortitude to nuke the labs where the work is done. Right? The only reason that threat continues to be a threat is because cowardice prevents us from solving those problems. So that's all I've got for this morning.
You know what?
I was about to say, did somebody hit your pause button?
No, I was
expecting some real blowback there.
No, if you're gonna say that I'm so correct, it's terrifying, I'm not gonna argue with you.
That's fair. I often scare myself with how right I am.
Yes, Waller, we know, but the restrict thing, yes. Waller says the Restrict Act is Patriot Act for all things that could be connected to the internet. Yes, I know, and I almost suggested that we talk about it, but the AI thing was just more interesting to me, so here we are.
Yep.
Hey, I bet Alex and Danny over at the TPS Report are going to talk about it, just knowing them, knowing their brand, so go check them out on Rumble.
Definitely, and I'm sure we'll end up talking about the Restrict Act next week. If not, no, it'll be next week. So you guys be safe out there. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow for Firearms Friday.